This video is going to be a disaster. I can already see it. Hey, so I thought I'd make a video about the 68 to 70 Dodge Charger prices and how some people are insane for what they want for these. So you're searching on the internet, just like I do, and you come across this ad for Dodge Charger. You're like, ooh, Dodge Charger. Click. Then you're like, well, man, this thing is rougher than a stucco bathtub. Then you go, well, it's not that bad. Then you start to hear that really soft music that they play on like those dog commercials when they want you to adopt or send them money. You start hearing that music and you're like, oh, I can fix this. It will be great. They only want 15 grand for it. You start to tug on your little Superman cape because you've already got it set in your mind that you're going to buy this car and you're going to fix this thing and it's going to be great. Oh yeah, please don't put in the comments that, well, it's a Mopar, it's expensive, or with a 60, I saw all these on these auction blocks and they go for this amount of money. I'm talking just about the absolute trashiest of the trash that people are trying to make a bunch of money on right now. I'm not talking about nice cars. I'm not talking about fully restored cars. I'm talking about load it with the forklift and 3 come-alongs and hope that it makes it back to your house in one piece. Don't buy that rusty ass Charger. Just say no. I'm not here to call any seller out on eBay or Facebook, anywhere. But some people are dragging these cars out of swamps, out of the woods. They're dragging them because they don't have any wheels. They're dragging them out and they break in half, or the tops are crushed in on them. And they're asking $9,000, $15,000 for nothing. Those cars were probably parts cars 20, 25 years ago. There's a reason why it's been sitting there for 40 years. And I'm not talking about the project cars that are nice. You know, some rust, you can fix it pretty easy. You know, quarter panels, putting a floor pan in a patch panel, a trunk pan. I'm talking about some of these cars don't have anything. They have like a vent window and the CH and maybe a G of an emblem, and that's it. Don't buy it. The juice isn't worth the squeeze to pay $15,000. I'm just throwing that number out there. I haven't seen an ad. I haven't been looking, because the best thing to do is just stay off of there, or we end up with all these cars at the house. Best advice I can say is to be patient. Don't run out and buy the very first one you see, because chances are you're going to be in over your head before you even get it off the trailer. You know, these cars are all unibody cars. It means they have no solid frame underneath them. So the front frame rails and the torsion bar cross member and the K, you know, all that stuff is It all goes together in a certain way. And if you just get a rusted hunk of junk. Also, the thumbnail, I robbed a picture of my buddy's 68 Charger that he got last year. So I didn't want to use any rusty ones that I saw on the internet. I just figured I'd steal a picture of his car. So thanks, Alex. And I know you're like, well, 68 Charger, that's my dream car. Yeah, it's everybody's dream car. The 68 Charger, you don't have to be a Dodge fan to want a 68 Charger. I mean, it's one of those pop icons, you know, it's a part of American movies and TV shows for the past 40 plus years. You know, growing up as a kid in the 80s and 90s, you were taught that 68 to 70 Charger is like the most indestructible car ever. With Steve McQueen's Bullet and Dukes of Hazzard, Fast and Furious. And yes, I do have one, the 70 model. If it's your first time watching this video, I got a couple other videos on my channel of it. It's currently on race ramps right now because I need to drop the transmission. But anyway, I don't want to discourage you from getting your dream car. But I was at Carlisle and I saw a nice, I believe it was gold, 69 Charger. That car drove out of the car corral, I think for like $43,000. And it needed like a paint job, or you could just drive it the way it was. It was a pretty nice car. Juice is not worth the squeeze. There is no juice left in that orange. And it's probably just gonna be a major disappointment if you buy it. You'll just be sitting there looking at it all the time. Or, I mean, your significant other is gonna hate it. Probably guarantee that. That's a level of dedication that you have not seen yet. That no matter how long the 80s montage is, you're never getting that thing back together. And how many times have you bought something because you thought it was a good deal, and then a week later, a month later, 6 months later, a year later, you find that same thing for a whole lot cheaper? If you want to get a Charger, then you just need to have a buttload of money you can drop right off the bat, for one, or just kind of wait. If you're like, oh, I'm going to save, I got this amount of money I can buy on one, you're going to want to try to look at every one you can. And people, you can't go by if it says sold on the Facebook thing or not. Because a lot of those guys that put stuff on there, some of them don't know what they're doing. And as soon as somebody sends them a message, they'll just mark sold. And then it'll be back up for sale 2 days later, 3 days later, 4 days later, whatever. And there's a lot of scammers out there too. So if it doesn't look like it's in your area, or if you find that same car listed in a bunch of different cities, that shit's a scam. Don't send anyone any money. And if it's not a rolling drive, if it's a Charger that's, if it's a Charger that doesn't roll, I would not send any kind of deposit on it. Because it's just a big old hunk of shit. I know the days of getting these cars for $1,200 is over. But there's got to be there's a certain point that it's like, I can build a charger from here up. You gotta have so much of a car to build. From most of the $15,000 to $9,000 range, so they're like right in here. And they're just pieces of crap. It'll probably break in half once you try to load it on the trailer, because you'll probably need like a forklift or something to pick it up. For all you guys that are asking, all that money for those cars, good luck. It's your car, you can sell it for what you want. But at the end of the day, is it actually a car? If that thing's picked to the bone, there's no good parts left on it. There is no floors, no frame rails, no core support, no firewall, no doors, you know. Come on, guys. Some cars just aren't meant to be saved. And it took me a long time to realize that. To get to that point, it's going to cost you so much money. So if you spend, let's say, $10,000 on that rusty piece of shit, and then you have to spend $20,000 in all your sheet metal, then you got to find a rear end and have that rebuilt. You got to you might have to buy a K-member and the front suspension, because your Titanic didn't come with one. Well, now you've already got 35, 40 grand in this car, and it's not even together. It doesn't even run. It's just a hodgepodge dodge of yard ornament meets parts warehouse. That's all you got. Buy a better car. And I'm not saying this so I can run out and buy all those cars, because I don't want them. I've had a Charger for a long time. Actually, I've had 3 of them. And the other cars I got, they were just bare bone shells. But at the time, they were stupid cheap, and you could afford to do that. And they were pretty decent too. They weren't some busted up, just hunk of junk. If you really want to just get a Mopar at a good price, get a Roadrunner. They're pretty good prices on those cars still. It's a B-body Mopar, big block, put 4-speed in it. Do whatever you want. I guess it's kind of a public service announcement. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here. It's just, I thought I'd make a video. Don't get scammed. Don't overpay for some mess that you'll be super disappointed with. Thank you all for watching.